You know, when I first heard that a Sonic Generations remaster with Shadow was gonna be a thing, I really wasn't all that excited. I'm not gonna lie.
You should kill yourself.
I just didn't think that Generations was a game that really needed a remaster because the original was already so good. But when the first trailer dropped, I was all in.
Let him go!
Everything that had to do with Shadow's involvement looked so good, and I could not wait to get my hands on it. And after finally playing Sonic X Shadow Generations, I gotta say, it did not disappoint. So let's just get all of the old stuff out of the way. Half of this game is of course the remaster of the original Sonic Generations, keeping mostly everything the same as it was originally, and just giving it general performance enhancements. And I said mostly because there were a few minor changes made to like the story and some of the characters' dialogue.
You stupid!
And honestly, I didn't really care for these changes since they mostly just served to make the characterization more consistent with the post-Frontier style of writing. But there were a few changes that were kind of funny because they just made absolutely no sense.
What is that?
Like this one where we freed Knuckles after completing Sky Sanctuary as Classic Sonic. In the original game, Knuckles says this.
Thanks, Sonic. You did a good job back there. Hey, did you gain weight?
Why do birds suddenly appear?
But in this version, he says this.
Thanks, Sonic. Now then, tell me, where is the rest of my island?
Which makes no sense because Classic Sonic still grabs his tummy for some reason, as if he fucking ate all of Sky Sanctuary.
Oh, hell no.
Again, it's not a huge deal for me, but I could see why some people would get annoyed by it. There's also new chow sprinkled around the stages that just serve to be as extra collectibles. Yeah, Sonic Team will do literally anything but bring back the Chow Garden. But for the most part, it's Sonic Generations. And you know it's still a fantastic game when it still gets me vibing like this. Follow me! Follow me! Yeah, yeah, yeah! Follow me! Oh yeah! I'll make it through! Oh yeah! Alright, but now for the stuff we were all waiting for. Shadow Generations. And where do I even begin? Okay, I guess I'll start by glazing the gameplay. This game's gameplay is perfect.
Perfect.
No exaggeration, it's just perfect.
It's perfect.
The gameplay style is pretty much how it was in OG Generations, but now with the added sense of control that Frontiers gave to Sonic. So Shadow feels just amazing to play as. He still has that same sense of speed from the old boost formula, but he could also move normally, like in an actual circle. And plus when you factor in Shadow's new Venom abilities that he unlocks throughout the game, this game really makes you feel like the ultimate life form. Shadow's new surfing power looks really cool. His Chaos Spears feel very fluid to use, and using Chaos Control feels just as cool as you would think it does. Oh, and this one new move that Shadow has where he like combos an enemy, he shoots them up into the air, and then he like sends them flying, and then teleports right to them. That also like allows you to explore different branches in the levels. Is so fucking cool.
I'm the coolest.
The only very, very small nitpicks I would have is that the gliding one where Shadow gets Red Bull wings.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Sometimes they do feel a little awkward to control. Like how after you pass through a dash ring, for some reason the game will just deactivate your wings, which just feels really awkward having to reactivate them. But for the most part, everything works perfectly. And learning how to use all this stuff as you gain your momentum and picking up your sense of rhythm as you speed through levels feels just as satisfying as it should. And speaking of the levels, Shadow Generations of course takes levels from Shadow's history, even though some of them haven't technically happened yet, like Chaos Island, Sunset Heights. It's cool, don't ask questions, okay? Bruh. And they are all absolutely goated. Kingdom Valley, Radical Highway, Rail Canyon, all levels that we have never seen been brought back before, and they were done so beautifully. Every single one of them has such good level design that really makes them on par in quality with the levels from original generations. And it's simply just so cool seeing some of these levels come back, like seeing more Sonic 06 representation. Somehow they made Sunset Heights actually a cool and memorable level. Like seriously, just look at this segment from Sunset Heights Act 1. Absolute cinema.
Oh, that's so cool!
Oh, and that also brings me to talking about the animations for this game. The animations for this game are fucking crazy.
Oh my god, he's so goddamn cool!
Like, Sonic Team is really embracing the shonen aspect of Sonic, and I'm all here for it. Seeing Shadow fucking piece up enemies with like 15 hit combos, and like the quick time event parts from levels where he's kicking back missiles and shit. It's so fucking cool.
I'm the coolest.
And even in just like the cutscenes themselves, the cutscenes in this game are so good. Graphically they look amazing, and they're all so well animated. Like the one where Sonic makes a cameo and he fights with Shadow, and they have that whole ass fight sequence. It's peak cinema. Sonic Team did not need to cook this hard with the game's visuals, but they did, and I love it. Not to mention how cool the bosses look, like the Bio-Lizard fight looking pretty much like a Sonic Frontiers tie-in boss fight. I love how it starts off like the original boss fight from SA2, and then evolves into something completely different as the Bio-Lizard grows fucking wings as well.
He copied my whole fucking flow! Word for word, bar for bar!
Metal Overlord was a nice surprise, and it makes great use of Shadow's new Doom Surf power. And I also love how it just showcases how much stronger, Sonic and Shadow are, since in Heroes it took Super Sonic plus Super Tails and Knuckles to take him down, and here Shadow just solos him in his base form. The power scaling is nutty. Oh, and my boy, Mephiles.
Who the fuck is this?
One of the greatest villains in the entire series finally makes his return, and his boss is just mwah, chef's kiss. Hearing Mephiles crash the fuck out as he's trying to desperately kill Shadow and restore himself to the timeline is so fucking raw. And this was literally a fucking anime fight, bro. Just look at this.
There is no future for you. Ever.
And of course, the final boss, Black Doom.
Embrace your fate.
His boss is pretty good. Of course, he makes use of Shadow's new entire arsenal, and beating the shit out of Black Doom while listening to a remixed version of All Hail Shadow is so peak.
Your future is already decided. We will be one.
But it's not only cool from a visual perspective, but also from a narrative one as well. Speaking of the narrative, I like how they managed to make this story interweave with the original Generation story, with it also giving us Shadow's perspective of what went down during original Generations. And I also love that this game's story just takes itself a little more seriously, kind of like Frontiers, which is definitely something that I've been wanting to return to Sonic games. And the whole thing with Shadow temporarily reuniting with Maria and Gerald is so sincerely sweet. Seeing Shadow be vulnerable again was adorable, and seeing that last cutscene where Shadow had to let Maria go again truly tugs on your heartstrings.
I'll stop Rouge. Use Chaos Control. Stop this moment in time.
Shadow? No. I don't want to be frozen in one place in time. Besides, your friends need your help.
But you don't know what's going to happen.
I know I'll see you again. And if fate draws us apart, I will always be in your heart.
Maria. Wait.
Absolute cinema. This game really just has a very sincere story, and it tells it well. Of course, the story isn't anything too crazy, but it's good. In terms of music, do I even really need to say anything here? Come on, it's a Sonic game. It's a Shadow game. The music was gonna be good. And that, it was.
Let me show you just what I'm made of now.
Ooh, fuck. And yeah, this game is just kind of perfect. Like, you can't really say that about a lot of Sonic games, but this is one where you can actually say that and kind of get away with it. Although I guess the only drawback you can kind of give it is that the game is short. It's only like 4 hours of total playtime if you just focus on doing the main stuff, which was kind of expected. You know, this was basically a bonus game, but god did I enjoy every single second I had with it. And I really hope that Sonic Team keeps up this momentum, because Sonic X Shadow Generations is perfect.